Good morning, and welcome back to another weekly installment of Rise and Shine Yoga. I'm Paul from Oxford Yoga Studio, and assisting me again this week is Stephanie.
Good morning.
So before we get started today, like last week, before we start any practice, you want to sit in a very comfortable position at the front of your mat. Your legs can be crossed or they can be straight out in front of you. And just start to close your eyes and have some regular breath as we try to settle the mind to begin our day, to begin our practice. If your mind has racing thoughts or your breathing is shallow, just kind of settle in here, check in with your body, see how it's feeling this morning. Do you feel really good, or is it sore, or whatever? So just take a few breaths here as we settle in. Big inhales and exhales. And a couple more. Now sit upright in your sitting position, shoulder blades back. And before we begin today, we always like to make an intention for our practice. And so for the next 30 minutes, I want you to make an intention. I look at it as a dedication. And today, choose whatever you want for your intention, whether it be for something for yourself, for a family member, for friends, whatever you need this morning. Make your intention. And as we go throughout our practice today, if you're struggling or if you find that your mind's wandering or the breath is going away, come back to this intention. Come back to this dedication of why you're doing the practice today. So make your intention. And now with our intention made, we deepen our breath. We deepen it to become yoga breath, ujjayi breath. Big inhales through the nose, exhale through the nose. And as you exhale through the nose, you want to make a ha sound, as if you're fogging up a mirror. So start to deepen the breath now. And the breath, like the intention, I want you to come back to it. Use it throughout the practice today. It should be controlled, smooth. And if during your practice you're struggling or the breath gets shallow, come back to the breath. Come back to making it deep and strong. So from here, with our breath and intention, I'd like you to roll forward into a table position. Hands and knees. Once your hands firmly underneath your shoulders, your hands really pushing into the ground with the fingers spread really wide. You want your knees to be directly underneath your hips, and you want your feet directly behind your knees. So take a quick look back between your legs. If you see your feet, just bring them behind your knees. And now with a flat back, we're going to do some cat-cow warm-ups. So inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale, slowly round the back like a cat. And inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale, round the back. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the head. And exhale. And inhale, drop the belly. And exhale. We'll just take this 5 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale, really round that back. Inhale, 2 more. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And from here, bring the toes of your feet together. Sit back into child's pose. And again, with Stephanie demonstrating child's pose, this is a pose that you can come to at any time. If you're struggling throughout your practice or it's just not your morning, come back to child's pose. Again, like I said last week, this is your practice. It's not my practice. It's your practice. So whatever you need to do to take care of your body, do it. And child's pose is a perfect comfort pose to take care of that. So you're going to stay here for a couple more breaths. Now from child's pose, slowly make your way up to hands and knees, flat back. And we're going to do another warm-up, a spinal twist called thread the needle. So you're going to inhale, raise your arms up, and exhale, slide your right arm directly underneath your left, twisting to the left. Your cheek may or may not touch the mat. And from here, in this pose, if your knees are bothering you, get a blanket to put under your knees. And if this is good for you, you want to go deeper, take your left hand, place it on the small of your back for more of a twist. As we open the heart out to the left. And we're going to stay here for about 3 breaths. Big inhales through the nose and exhales through the nose. And if your hand is on your back, place it flat on the mat. Inhale, slowly unwind your arm. Inhale it up to the sky. And exhale, place your right hand firmly on the ground. And now we're going to do the other side. Inhale your left arm up. And exhale, thread it underneath your right side, twisting over to the right. And again, you have the option of taking your right hand and placing it on the small of your back. It's going to stay here for a couple breaths. Place your right hand firmly on the mat. Inhale your left arm up. And place it flat on the mat. Now from table, walk both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, really reach and rise the arms overhead. Exhale, palms together. Samastiti. Take a couple inhales. And now, take a breath or two. We're going to take a quick break and come back. In the next segment, we're going to start our yoga flow with Ashtanga poses. So take a break.
Okay, well, remember last week when you hit Vinny in the head with the shovel?
I do not recall that.
Of course not. Well, it was too graphic for the kids, so I'm going to have to block you.
You know, I got to make this
That's
up.
really not
This is Vinny's watch.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
Welcome back. In the last segment, we did our warm-ups. And in this segment, we're going to start a flow. And this flow is based on Ashtanga, which was created by a man named Pattabhi Jois in Mysore, India. It's a flow of specific poses, but this morning I'm just going to give you a little bit of a taste of what Ashtanga is. It's a vigorous flow. It's probably the toughest yoga that I know, but this morning we'll take it easy and just walk you through some of the poses. So the first one we're going to do is Sun Salutation A. So look at your feet. You want them about hip distance apart, grounded firmly into the mat. You want your abs or bundles engaged. You want your shoulder blades back. And a good way to get your shoulder blades back is to take your palms and twist them open. That opens up the shoulder blades. Now bring your palms together, center of the heart, and we're going to do a few sun salutation A's. So inhale, reach and rise the arms overhead. Exhale, slowly fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Your hands can touch the floor or your shins. Exhale, bend the knees, walk, step back to the top of a push-up. And we're going to stay here for just a bit. So with this top of a push-up, you want your hands directly underneath your shoulders. You want your feet back, your heels pushing back. You want to be one straight line. And now we're going to exhale, and as we lower all the way to the bottom, keep your elbows to the chest. Now inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. Up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. Then we're going to stay here for about 5 breaths. Now, since this is probably your first down dog, you might want to bicycle your feet. You want your gaze or your dirsty between your legs. You want to have the intention of lifting your hips while pressing your heels into the ground, as Stephanie's doing quite well. And you have strong breath. Your hands are firmly grounded into the mat, so you're really like you're pushing the mat away. We're going to stay here for just a couple more breaths. And from here, on your next exhale, bend your knees, look between your hands, walk, step, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. And inhale, reach and rise the arms overhead. Exhale, palms together, center of the heart. Right into the next one. Inhale, reach and rise the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, walk, step back to the top of a push-up. Slowly lower down, elbows next to the chest. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. Up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, downward facing dog. And again, strong breath. And if your heels don't touch, that's perfectly fine. Have the intention of pressing your heels. And of course, have strong breath. Hands firmly into the mat, strong arms. At the end of your next exhale, look between the hands, walk, step, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. And then inhale, reach and rise, palms together, center of the heart. So we're going to do one more. Inhale, reach and rise the arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, walk, step, jump to the front of the mat. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips, down dog. And again, 5 strong breaths. At the end of your next exhale, bend the knees, look between the hands, walk, step, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach and rise the arms up. Palms together, Samasthiti. So that was Sun Salutation A. It's the first pose in the Ashtanga series. And now we're going to do a couple second ones, the Sun Salutations B. I find that this is probably, in my opinion, the hardest pose in the Ashtanga series. So, for our foundation, you want your feet close together, only maybe an inch apart. Again, we're standing up tall, shoulder blades back. So we're going to inhale, reach and rise the arms, and now we're going to sit back into a chair. Now I want you to take a quick look at your feet. Make sure you can see your toes. Your knees should be above your ankle. Your bundas are engaged. Your arms are strong by your ears, but you have relaxed shoulder blades. One more breath. Now exhale, fold forward over straight legs. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, bend the knees, walk, step, jump to the top of a push-up. Exhale, slowly lower down. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest, up dog. Exhale, uncurl the toes, lift the hips. Now I want you to bring your right leg back up behind you. Bring it through the front of the mat. Spin your left foot flat. Come up. Warrior one. And again, take a quick look at your knee. Should be over your ankle, not your toes. At the end of your next exhale, windmill the hands down on either side. Step back. Lower down slowly. Inhale, straighten the arms, lift the chest. And exhale, uncurl the toes. This time we're going to lift our left leg back. Bring it through to the front of the mat. Spin your right foot flat. Come up. Again, make sure your knees over the ankle. At the end of your next exhale, windmill the hands down. Lower down. Lift the chest, straighten the arms, uncurl the toes. Take one breath. End of your next exhale, walk, step, jump to the front of the mat. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, reach and rise. Exhale, palms together, center of the heart. So that kind of gives you a little bit of the taste of the first part of Ashtanga. In our closing segment, we'll do some seated positions that are in Ashtanga and close with a brief meditation. So take a break, get a drink of water, and we will see you in the next segment.
What will you build? A wall? A roof? A room? Or will you build a stronger family, healthier children, more successful students? What will you build? Every year, thousands of volunteers, donors, and partner families build houses and so much more with Habitat for Humanity. They build hope in your community and a brighter future around the world. So what will you build? Find out at habitat.org and help build it.
Wow, these are really good.
You act surprised. Practice makes perfect.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of teens in foster care who don't need perfection. They need you.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan. Big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you. Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Welcome back to the final segment this morning of Rise and Shine Yoga. So I want you to come back and sit at the front of your mat. We're going to do some of the a few seated poses that are done in Ashtanga. So I want you to extend your legs straight out in front of you. Want your toes pulled back. Want you to sit up tall. Want your shoulder blades back. Your abs or bundas are engaged. Your legs are engaged. Want you to take your palms of your hand, place them on either side of your hips. And this is called the Dandasana, or staff pose. So take a big inhale, exhale, and just sit up tall. Now this pose may look to some people relatively simple, but every muscle's engaged here, except your face, which I hope you're smiling as we do this. And again, deep breath. Come back to your intention of why you are doing this practice this morning. So big inhales. Take one big inhale, reach and rise your arms overhead. Exhale, fold forward. And see if you can take a bind, either your toe, your foot, or maybe just your shin. Inhale, come up halfway, and exhale, fold forward. This is Paschimottanasana, or Western stretch. And one of the cues here is you don't want to round your back. You want your back to be flat. So ideally, think of it as having your heart coming towards your toes. So you want to keep that back straight. And again, we're going to stay here for about 5 deep, strong breaths. One more breath. Release your bind. Come back up to seated. Now what I'd like you to do is take an inhale, bend your right knee, place it up. I want you to place the sole of your feet on the inside of your left thigh if possible. You want your left toes pointed up to the sky and pulled back. And if you can, move your torso so it's facing your left toe. Take a big inhale, reach and rise the arms overhead. And exhale, fold forward. And again, you can take any bind you'd like, your toe, your foot, your shin. Inhale, come up just a little bit, and then exhale, fold forward. Again, we're staying here for 5 strong breaths. And you'll notice when we switch to the other side that our sides aren't usually balanced. One side is either better at flexibility or strength. So if you find that you have a different sensation on each side, that's perfectly normal. One more breath. Release your bind, slowly come back up. Bring your right knee up and straighten your right leg. And now we're going to do the other side. So inhale your left knee up and place the sole of the foot on the inside of the right thigh. Again, check your right toes, make sure they're pointed straight up. Everything's engaged. And again, try to twist your torso so it's facing the right foot. So we're going to inhale, reach and rise the arms, and exhale, hinge, and take a bind. And again, like in the first Paschimottanasana, we don't want the back rounded, we want it flat. So ideally your heart eventually comes and touches your toes. And again, we're going to stay here for about 3 or 4 deep, strong breaths. One more breath. Release your bind, slowly come back up. Inhale, bring your left knee up and extend your left leg forward. And now we're going to do a yin pose, a bound angle pose. So I'd like you to bring the soles of your feet together, but keep them away from your body. So this is just a very gentle pose. A yin pose is a pose that gets into the connective tissue, the tendons, the ligaments. And so all I want you to do, just let your arms go, relax, round the back, round the chin. It's a very passive pose. And by holding it for a minute or more, we let gravity slowly stretch out the muscles. So inhale, and just round the back. Still having that yoga breath, but we're just relaxing into this pose. Take it another 3 breaths. Slowly unwind and come back up. Place the soles of your feet on the mat. And we're just going to do a quick thing on our back. So come onto your back. Bring your knees to your chest. Give yourself a great big hug for coming to your mat this morning, for doing yoga, for taking care of yourself. You can rock side to side, backwards, forwards. You can let go of the breath. And now if you can, start to rock forwards and backwards. And then if you can, rock your weight back up to a seated position at the front of your mat. Hands, palms together. Close your eyes and bend your chin to chest. Coming back to your intention, hopefully feeling better than when you started this morning. Hopefully the mind is calm. And we're just going to take a couple breaths and then close. So once again, I want to thank you for watching us this week. And we will be back next week for Rise and Shine Yoga. Close your eyes. Thank you guys for coming to your mat today and letting me lead you in your practice. The light in me bows, shines, reflects the beautiful energy that is within all of you. And we end our practice with Namaste.
Namaste.
You're watching OCTV, Oxford Community Television, serving Oxford, Addison Township, and the village of Leonard.